Okay, let's go. Right, day two. Day two. Day two already. The week just speeds by, people, when it's challenge week. But I love it. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Let me know in the chat. How did you find day one? Helpful? Let me know. We're going to be diving into day two. Like I said yesterday, if you're available for it, turn your cameras on, be present. We've got Toko. Am I saying that right? Yeah, beautiful name. Love that. Anika, welcome, welcome, welcome everyone into the room. Love it, love it, love it. Right. So, hope you're feeling all blessed today and beautiful and present. So, welcome, welcome, Monica there. Love it, love it. Right. Today, guys, we're going to be diving into pricing with confidence and boosting your revenue for ultimate success. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the niceties that I did yesterday because I did that yesterday. Okay. So I've got lots to cover today on pricing and offers. So I'm going to dive pretty much straight into it because I want to ensure that I give you everything that you need for today. We've also got somebody that might join us from the Academy and show up and share a little bit from her perspective of the Academy as well. So the Business Academy is a program that I run. It's a year-long business accelerator, and I'll share more of information about that towards the end of today. But what I want to go into today is pricing with confidence and boosting your revenue for ultimate success, right? Workbooks ready. If you haven't got workbook, Gail, have you got the link? You could put the link in the chat for the workbook. It should be training.drtaline.com/workbook, I believe, right? So you can have the workbook, guys, ready for today's session. Awesome stuff. Oh, and just to let you know, I have seen some of you already this morning on business audits, right? Shout out to Nika and others I saw as well. And it was a really, really great session. And I saw some of you yesterday as well. Today's the last day I'm going to announce about these audits. They are just strictly value packs. I'm not on this selling at all. I'm going to let you guys know about the Business Academy later, and you get to make that decision in your own home as to whether that's right for you. The business audits are just a one-to-one value pack session, okay? And they're valuable, they're useful, right? So if you want one, today's the last day I'm going to announce that, okay? So if you want one, you can have one. It's up to you. Right, so the 7 reasons great revenue is a non-negotiable. Now, I need to start there because before I talk about pricing with confidence and what your programs should be and how to price your programs and all of that stuff, I really need to make it real clear about why it's important to get behind the idea that it's okay to make great revenue, right? I feel like sometimes people have a mindset challenge that limits them from feeling like, okay, I'm walking in my purpose, I'm walking in my calling, like God's leading me here. This is what I know I'm meant to be doing. And I'm not too sure about how or why I should make money from this and, or feel bad about it. Or maybe they've been a practitioner like me, and in that field, you kind of subtly educated, like don't be in this field and expect to make great money. And so you kind of have this way of thinking. And I want you to really adopt as you move forward and grow your coaching business, is understanding that making great revenue is important and should be a non-negotiable for you, right? Often what I find is that people get into or can have, and I had it too, for sure. It was definitely something I had to work through, right? Of like an employee mindset. And I'm not downgrading being an employee, right? But I'm saying that when you shift into being an entrepreneur, into being a CEO and a business owner, you have to shift your mindset around money and the revenue growth of what you are creating, right? And so often people see like take home, I need take home, right? I need money, right? For me and like my family and, provision. And I say like, if any of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's basically a model which talks about like just how to go up the levels to self-actualization, to like really walking in purpose. And the first level is all about like just being okay yourself, right? Like, can you like sustain yourself so that you can pour from your overflow, right? Like, do you have enough coming in for you, right? And so, you know, it's important to recognize like one reason to make revenue is take home, is to look after yourself, your family, the people around you, and what needs to happen so you can pour from your overflow without that kind of interacting with that, right? But then it's important to understand, once you're aware of what that needs to be for your own personal you know, responsibilities, to be able to navigate and just be fully in your mission, right? And sit there with your mission. There's other reasons as well that revenue is absolutely a non-negotiable for you in your business, right? There are business systems, even though it's an online business, right? None of you are creating a traditional private practice in terms of this sense where you need to hire an office or an establishment or anything like that. It's an online coaching business, right? You're not setting up a coffee shop where you have to hire a venue and hire the, you know, get the plates and the cups and the coffee and the cakes and the staff, right? You're not setting up a dry cleaning business, right? Where you have to get the machinery or whatever, right? It's an online business, but the business still requires systems. Yeah. And so, you know, recognizing that that's also a reason that you're going to need to cover your business systems. And I'm going to go through that more in Monday session next week when we do some financial planning, the financial planning workshop. I'm going to go through all of these numbers a bit more detail. But it's important to recognize that when you're thinking about pricing, when you're thinking about your business, when you're thinking about revenue, recognizing that margin is essential, right? Marketing, right? Audience building. Many of you found me for an advert, right? That was therefore funds being paid to advertise to find you guys, right? And for you to find me, yeah? So it's like, you know, there's a marketing spend that you may want to bring into your business. And I'm going to talk about marketing tomorrow, and I'm going to go into the depths of that. And there's free marketing that you can do. You can also do paid marketing. There's variety. But as your business scales and grows, you got to think about these things, guys. Okay. You know, and think about that and your business. The other thing is as well, education, supervision. I think it's really important to ensure that as you grow on your journey in your business, that you do have supervision as you develop and work with your clients, right? That you're being supported with your own personal development and how you support your clients, right? The struggles, the challenges that come up. You're being educated as well in terms of how to continue to elevate your business to the next level. All of that is investment. And that is a business, that these are business expenses, right? So it's recognizing that the revenue to come in to cover these things. Yeah. Team, as you scale, you may want to bring on team, you may want to bring on an assistant, other things, accounting, all of these things, right? Team. There's also tax, like it or not, right? You know, there's also considering that. And then what about having a profit margin, right? Having a margin to be able to pour in maybe community interest projects. What about having business reserves from that margin? Maybe even having a bonus from time to time, right? So there's other things that you may need to think about as you are building your revenue in your business. And it's very, very important to consider this. And when I say this, often, sometimes, even if they've shifted into private practice, they're still on that level one of like thinking of, okay, I just need take home. I just need take home. Maybe they've shifted to, I need take home and taxes, right? Yeah, right. But we want to expand beyond that and really think about, okay, how do I really build this business up to really pour out and impact lives and serve people, right? And I know a lot of time people come across me, they do have a desire to pour out into creating their own charity or other charitable causes or needs that they want to pour into. And you can do that with a healthy profit margin as well. So when you think about how much you want to bring into your business, I think it's awesome to think, what is my take home, and then double it, right? What is my take home, and then double it. Yeah. And that's a great way to think about it. And when you're thinking of your take home, think about your particular life, right? Like, don't think about like whatever you see floating on the internet of like, you know, you need to have this particular car or this particular house or whatever, right? Think about what is it your needs? What do you need in order to live, right? And think about that for your take home, for you and your family, okay? There's nothing wrong with nice cars or nice homes, right? By the way. Yeah, but I'm just saying whatever you want, you know, like think about what you want, not what other people want for you, right? What you want for yourself. Yeah. What God wants for you. Yeah. All right. So really, really important. Is that helpful? Right, to start there? Has that been helpful? Okay, cool, good. Because I think it's very important to remember this, guys, like really remember that, especially as you're thinking about the pricing component. Yeah. So before we can talk about what your price points are, right? The next thing I want to discuss is transformation. I talk a lot about charging per transformation versus charging per price, per session or per hour, right? So the reason I set up my business 9.5 years ago, right? It was February 2015 that I started, okay? February 2025 will be 10 years, right? I started out charging per transformation, right? I've always charged per transformation. It's just, I'm from a psychology background and a health psychology background. And for me, and how my brain was working, it was just like, I got to support people over time in order for them to have the change. And so why not just get them to invest in the transformation, right? That was what made sense for me as I set up my business. And that's what I really encourage. Now you can do whatever you want, it's your business, right? But these are the reasons. I'm going to share with you the reasons I charge per transformation and why I really encourage you to start thinking about charging per transformation, because transformation happens over time, right? Transformation really, like, you could have small nuggets of breakthroughs, you know, like I'm doing these 15-minute audits, right? People are having breakthroughs in 15 minutes. They're like, oh my God, that was valuable. Oh my gosh, you've unlocked this, right? Change can happen there, but for true change, right? For the result, for that to go to work towards an outcome, like of a significant outcome, it requires over time, right? I'm doing this over a week, but for you to really see your business move forward and grow and develop, we need more than a week, right? Which is why I'm going to tell you about the academy, which gives you a year, right? So transformation happens over time. And I think it's important to think about your mission, right? Think about your mission and what does that mean in terms of when I think about transformation, what kind of time? And of course, right, sometimes the question comes up in people's minds, well, everybody's journey is different, which is very true. Everybody's journey through the transformation is different in terms of the time required. And none of us can predict that at all, right? That's like, you know, God knows that, not me, not you, right? But what we can understand is that there's some level of time at minimum that we're going to need to really see some movement, right? And so we want to take that as the idea of the time, the initial time, right? That, you know, you know, we need to really have this amount of time to see real, you know, change with what you want. Yeah, that's what I mean. And as you work with these people or the person through transformation, you'll be able to adjust the timings if they need to, right? But transformation happens over time. And so when you encourage people to invest per transformation, it helps them show up even more committed, right? It helps them even when there's resistance, which there will be. Transformation in any area, whether it's business, whether it's well-being, whether it's relationships, there's resistance that is going to come up along the way, right? And as when people invest in transformation over time, even when there's resistance, they're like, oh, I was struggling today, but I'm going to show up, right? Because, like, you know, I'm invested. Like, I want to work on this. I want to develop. So they're even showing up through the resistance, as opposed to when people are doing per session or per hour, right? There's the cancellations that can come up of like, you know, let me kind of steer away from this session today. I'm kind you know, I don't really want to go there, right? And so you minimize that by doing transformation, paying per transformation, yeah? They also as well, what we find, right, myself and clients have found is that clients come in and they really value the outcome. They value your expertise. They really show up in a different way, right? When they're investing per transformation. Yeah. And so these are things that I really think about and I thought about when I started charging per transformation in my business, and what I encourage you to think about if you decide to charge per transformation in your business, right? You can also have one-on-one elements and per session elements, but it's important to recognize, that having some sort of core offer, right? Some sort of core main, like, this is where transformation happens, right? It's going to be really helpful for your brand and your business and your growth. It also, the other thing about transformation for me, when I was thinking about it, is it can become, if you really think about the best way to help people transform, right? Which is what my thinking was when I started charging per transformation or just creating transformational packages. What's the best way to help people transform? One of the models I considered was the theory of planned behavior. It's a psychological theory, right? And it is used to help understand human behavior and what elements are required to support human behavior change, right? And so the theory of planned behavior talks about four main constructs, right? It talks about behavioral intentions, right? So this is like my attitude towards the my attitudes about the behavior. Yeah, like how much do I perceive that I can do this? Right? Like how much it talks about, so behavioral intentions, attitudes, perceived behavioral control, and subjective norms. Those are the four, right? Behavioral intentions, attitude, perceived behavioral control, and subjective norms, right? So perceived behavioral control is how much do I perceive that I can do this behavior, right? How much do I perceive that I can improve my relationship, improve my well-being, build my business, scale my business, improve my leadership, whatever it might be. Yeah. How much do I perceive that? Now, when somebody's seeing somebody one-on-one, right? And this is why I have a preference for one-to-many, and there's so much that lies in that, is that when somebody does it one-to-one, they're just in a room with you and them, right? It's like, I kind of hope I can make some change in my life, right? I'm leaning into you for this hope to make some change in my life, right? Like, let's kind of work towards it. But when they're in a one-to-many situation, there's like a perceived behavioral control that can be increased because I'm now in a one-to-many of other people that are also challenged with this, also are like wanting to work on this. So now my perceived behavior control increases. I now have a more increase of like, I'm not on this journey alone, right? Like there's other people that want this change. There's other people that have decided to put themselves in the environment to gain this change. So my perceived behavior control increases in a one-to-many setting than it does in a one-to-one, right? Subjective norms is all about understanding like what are my beliefs and my motivation around like I can do this, like can I do this? And that's just built up again in community. When you have community or people around you that are doing the things, the same is like attitudes and beliefs, right? Attitudes and beliefs come from what we know from like modeling, right? Or from what we've heard, or from what we've seen, or from our experiences. So we only have a belief or an attitude or perspective about something because of what's gone on previously. But we can shift that if we have exposure to other ways of thinking. And so when we're put in an environment when we can have exposure to other ways of thinking, it can shift our ability to shift into new ways of doing things, right? Like in this room today when we're talking about pricing. Yeah. So that's why as well, when I think about transformation, it's about recognizing like what type of environment do I need to create for my offerings to support and foster transformation in the best possible way. And therefore, it also as well has additional benefits. It has benefits for you, right? In that you have more time with a scalable one-to-many business model. You have more time. You're not seeing people one-to-one, back-to-back, right? In silo, right? Now you can still have a scalable model and still have elements of one-to-one, but it just doesn't look as it needs to doing a traditional one-to-one way. Yeah. So you have more time. More time gives you more energy, right? And as the leader of the business, right, you can therefore split your time, not just serving clients, but also educating yourself, right? In leadership responsibilities, right? Serving and other new people that come across you. Yeah. So you're able to maneuver your time a bit more with a scalable model, right? Hope that's really helpful. Okay. So it also becomes as well easier when you do the maths around it, easier to hit your income goals, because when you're a one-to-one model, you can become capped out. Like there's only one of you, right? And even when if you was to do a one-to-one model and then scale by going, okay, I'll just have more people under me doing one-to-one, what often happens, and we've seen it, I've helped people in the academy that build out group private practices, and then they find themselves just feeling like an administrator and like managing this, and them themselves aren't really getting paid as they need to get paid because they're only getting such a small margin on the group practice, right? So, you know, like, but if you was to shift your model out of group practice into like true transformational experiences, right? You are able to shift yourself in a place where you can hit income goals in a different way, which allows you to have more time, more energy, right? And then being able to use those income goals to do the things that I just spoke about before, right? As well. Okay, so it becomes much more fulfilling. And then for the client, there is also benefits as well. They get to journey towards the result they desire in a way where they're more committed. They value the outcome. They value your expertise. They show up even when there's resistance, right? And they got community around them. Yeah. So it's like win, 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 right? That's why I am really behind one-to-many. Okay. Right. So that's my take on it. And I think it's actually much more valuable, right? Like then like one-to-one. I just think like there's so much, you know, and there's going to be people that want to have their one-to-one things, right? And sometimes where it's necessary to have one-to-one elements, there's like a private personal room where people can just really dive in deeply into something they might not want to do in a group setting. I get that. And so when I say transformational experience, it doesn't mean stripping away one-to-ones. You don't have to do that. You should still have a way where people can access one-to-ones or build it in. It might just be at a lower frequency. Yeah. Okay. So I say all of that because I want to talk about offers, right? And so I think it's really important that when you are thinking about what your core offer is, I want you to all think about a core offer, and you'll have offers around a core offer, right? But a core offer that you're thinking about these things that I'm talking about, and that your core offer is scalable, right? The other thing that is important to think about is that who your offer is for, this core offer, who is it for? Because it's not for everybody that meets the, when we speak about mission, like I'm here to help these people with this problem to go to this outcome. Not all of those people are going to be ready for an offer, the offer of transformation. And the reason around this, right, I look at like the stages of change model, right? This is another psychological change model theory. And it really is about just demonstrating how people cycle through stages before they're ready to do something, right? And it's very important to remember that there is, you know, we all start from a place, you know, even if I take myself, for example, right? There was once upon a time where I didn't even know I even had a desire or even think about having my own business, right? There was once that time in my life, yeah, where that it wasn't even on my mind, right? That's pre-contemplation. It's like the person is not even aware, like that's even a thing that I even want to explore, right? Then their life situations may move them into a place where they start to contemplate this thing, right? So the person starts contemplating change, but they're not necessarily ready to act, right? So you start contemplating, you're like, I think I could have a business, you know, like people like have their own businesses and make money and help people through it. Like, this is actually a thing out there. Like, and it's like this aha, right? Of like, oh my God, like, and you start contemplating. But you know what I mean? You're ready to like do the thing. Yeah. Some of you in this week's experience are in contemplation. Like, you've just been like, and you might have been contemplation. People could hang out in contemplation for years, guys. Years. Decades sometimes. Yeah, you could be in this space of contemplation. There's nothing wrong with you, right? You're just contemplating. Thinking about, does that fit on me? Right? And then life will shift you into preparation, right? Like, it's real on me. Like, I can feel this in my vision. I can see it, right? God has this for me. This is my next. I'm claiming it. I'm walking into it, right? I'm ready to start preparing to take action. Preparing to take action. When somebody's preparing to take action, they're just before action, right? Your transformational experiences for those that are like, yes, it's time, it's me. I'm ready to do the thing, and I'm ready to take action through my actions, not through my words. Preparation, there's a lot of talking, right? There's a lot of talking, but not necessarily acting. Yeah. So that's often in the preparation. Action is like, I'm ready to do this, right? I'm taking action. I'm doing it. I'm following it through. Yeah. So your transformational experience is for those that go into action. Now you can jump in, and often people jump into action excited, nervous, scared. I'm doing it, right? That's like what action feels like, right? And anything like, oh my gosh, is this even going to work? Is it possible for me? Oh my gosh, can I really change my body? Can our relationship be fixed? I don't even know, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to have a go. I'm going to act, right? That's what action normally like happens in the action piece, right? And so the preparation is just building up, is getting to know, like, how would I educate myself around this? What support do I need around this? You might be talking to people around it, or exploring people, around it, reading books around it, writing notes around it, meditating, praying on it, right? All of those things around preparation. And then action is like, I'm going to go for it. I don't know how, but I'm going to walk in, right? I'm going to do the thing, right? That's what your core experience is for. Like, it's for those people in action, right? But you're going to have offers around that are going to serve people in preparation stage and in contemplation stage, right? So this experience, for example, I am fully aware that there are going to be people in here that are in action stage, that are in preparation stage, and that are in contemplation stage, right? We might have some pre-contemplations of like somebody ringing their friend and going, I know you don't know that you need this, but I think like I've just found this person called Dr. Talene, like jump in the Zoom room. And they're like, I didn't even know I wanted to hear that, right? So there might be a small number of people pre-contemplation, but that's not who I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for those that are contemplating, so I can educate them, I can give value to them, I can help them shift round the wheel in whatever direction they need to. That they either move from contemplation to preparation, they move from preparation to action, right? They move around the wheel, or they move the other way. They move from contemplation of like, yeah, like she's really helped me. No, this is not for me. And that's equally amazing and great to do as well. Okay. So when you're thinking of your offers, right, it's important to recognize that you are creating your core offer to those in the action stage, right? Transformation over time. And you are creating other offers for those in in contemplation and preparation stage. And the other offers, known as, you could term them feeder offers. So they might be where people stay until they might then go into action, right? They can go into the core offer, right? And those offers could be priced, I would say, anything from like £0 to £500, dollars of the contemplation preparation, right? So it could be free like this, right? But I have charged for this before, guys. I used to charge $297 for this, right? So, like, you can put a charge in it, or you can make it free. It's entirely up to you and what you feel guided to do, right? But your offers at that level is anything from 0 to 500. Yeah, is what I would say to range. And then and don't like you can still like we have 300 people register for this particular challenge, right? You times 300 times what we used to charge for this, 297 pounds, that's 89,000 pounds and 100 pounds, right? 89,100, yeah, right? That's not small change, right? And so it's like recognize as well like the scalability of what can happen when you do transformational experiences. Yeah. So but then you've got your action, your transformational offer, right, which is going to be packages over the time. And this is where you can really just work with people, help people in amazing ways. Yeah. And so this is where I would encourage your price points. Now, some people want their price points for their core offer to be around the 1,000 mark, right? Many of my students have their offers around the 3,000 or 5,000 mark, right? But it's about, and I'll talk about that a bit later. It's about finding out what's right for you and also what's right for your mission and your audience. And these are offers over time. Your time transformational offer may be 12 months like mine, but it might be 3 months, it might be 6 months. So you can think of all those things as well. But like you can shift into that even if you've not previously worked in that way as well. And it can be really, really energizing and exciting. And I want it as well. I think it's always fun to let me see if I have it to hand. Oh yeah, I do. Oh no, is that right? I wanted to show you something, but I don't know if I've got it to hand. I might have to show you tomorrow a beautiful video. I thought I had it to hand, but that's the wrong video. Okay, I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. But it's just a really cool video I've got of like just really demonstrating how it can feel when you step into that feeling. Yeah. And so, you're really going to think about your transformational experience of like, this is where the transformation occurs. Yeah. Transformation experience. Now, what do I put in my transformation experience? The way to think about this is to think of your mission. So you carry your mission, right? And then you think about what is the person's life like right now? Right. So, or what are these people's life right now? Right. What's point A like for them right now? What's life like for them right now? What are they not doing that they want to be doing, right? What are they, overindulging in? Like, what is life like? Yeah, point A. And then point B, where do you want to take them to? Right? So you're going to like also almost map out like a timeline of this is them now and this is them, through transformation. And then you want to think about like, what are the kind of steps or like that they're going to hop onto, milestones, right? That they need to step onto to move from here to here. What do I need to educate them on to move them from here to here, right? What do they need support with to move them from here to here? This is how you're going to start thinking about what elements go into my program, right? What needs to go into my program? I've got to think about my mission, my avatar, and where they are and where I want to get them to, right? Where I want to start the journey to go to. And then once you start to think about that, then you can start thinking about deliverables. Yeah, because your offer is not your stuff. People get confused. They're like, I'm building my offer. How many workbooks should I have? Like, how many sessions should I have? How many, like one-to-one should I have? Like, should I do this or should I do that? Right. And it's like, none of that even matters. Like, what we first need to understand is who are you working with? What is life like for them now? Where do you want to get them to? And what do you need to do in between there and there to help them move? Right. And then on the simplicity of it all, is to ensure that you set up doing that thing, right? So you bring people into an offer where you do that thing, right? This is how I started. Yeah. So my program, Wake Up Soul Nourished, which is how I started, I didn't have no workbooks, guys. I didn't have no modules. There was no login teachable area or anything, right? I just knew I'm helping these people. This is what life is like for them right now. And this is where they need to go. And I mapped out like, this is what I'm going to need to support them with in that journey. I need to help them understand and start having a behavior around mindfulness and meditation, right? So I need to drop that in there. So what I do, this was before Zoom. I didn't even start on Zoom. That's how like ancient I feel when I say this, right? I had something called instant tally seminar, and people would call a number and they would have to press star. It was either star 2 or star 3 to unmute to talk to me, right? And so I would just hop on my phone and I'd be like, hi, welcome to week 1 of Wake Up Soul Nourished, right? Today I'm going to talk about mindfulness and meditation. And I would just speak and I'll be like, okay, great. Let's ask some questions. How did this resonate with you? Press star 2 to unmute yourself. And I would have a talk with them, right? And then I would like clip the recording of my teaching, and then I would share that as the replay. And I would then have that as a teaching moment for people that would come in later, right? So people that would join later, I would be like, hey, we've done this session on meditation and mindfulness. I'll send you the replay, listen to that and ask questions. That was it. That was my transformation experience. Like every week you call the number and Dr. Talene is talking about what we're talking about next, right? Yeah. And we would just go through that. We'd talk about like your well-being, your sleep, like all of these things, right? As I said, I infused my health psychology knowledge into what I was doing in the coaching world. And that was it. That was it. So people see me now and they're like, oh my God, she's got a membership area and she's got, all of this and she's got Zoom and all of this stuff, right? That was not how it started. It was just that simple. And this is where people get stuck for years studying and creating courses that nobody's in, right? Nobody's there, right? They're just creating their course and eventually they're going to show up and think about marketing, where you want to find your people and create the course with the people, right? That's what I teach in the academy. It's very, very important. Don't just start creating things. So when you're thinking about what my deliverables are, I would encourage you to start like how I started, right? And you may think about other things, community. So there's support over length of time, support over time, community, right? So people had access to community. There was a group that they could talk to other people as well and connect with as well. They could access me as well and drop in their questions via email. There was, so you could have like a support desk or an email line, right? There was the weekly session. You could have other weekly sessions if you wanted as well. I had meditation, so I do meditations every week, right? But I would include that in that, but I could have done that as a separate one if I wanted, or a standalone. You could have art session, you could have a dance session, you could have a yoga session, you could have all sorts of things, right? If you want to, what makes sense, yeah? But don't just chuck in stuff because you want to chuck in stuff because you think you need to justify the price, right? Whole nother conversation, right? But what do they need for the transformation? Yeah. Do they need tailored one-to-one sessions? How am I going to add it in? If it's not 100% necessary, maybe I want to have it as an add-on. Like people are going to add that on. They can pay additional extra for a tailored one-to-one session. Or maybe I build it in that you have a tailored one-to-one session bi-weekly or monthly or every 3 weeks, right? But you don't need weekly one-to-one sessions if there's a weekly group community and support, right? And then you can think about as well in your offering, is it going to be a fixed program in terms of like you have to come in here and finish here, right? Or am I going to do a rolling program where people can come in at any time, which has so much benefits? Because when people come in at any time, this is how we run the academy. When people join the academy, there's people in the academy. And so they can see other people and they're like, oh, wow, okay, this gives me hope and inspiration. It builds what I spoke about earlier of like perceived behavior control, of like, oh my God, I can do this. Like they're doing this. And they would have started like how I started at one point, right? So now I'm even more encouraged, yeah? So you can build these things, you can build in events or retreats, right? You can build that in. I do a retreat once a year with my academy people. That is there for them, right? We have a Christmas, normally I do a Christmas meetup. I don't really, me and my clients, we just meet up if they're around in the UK, in London, we come together, we have a Christmas get together, So you can build in like in-person things and things like that are necessary or that you would like to. Right? You could even have aftercare support as well. So you could think all those things. So this is giving you food for thought, but don't let it stop you from finding your people, which is why tomorrow is absolutely essential to come to understand marketing, right? You don't want to stop here and get stuck here and spend a year or decade here, create a course, okay? So you want to think about like, what my course is not my stuff. I love that light bulb moment that went in the chat, right? You know, it's about recognizing that I am going to understand their point A, their point B, and their milestones. And that's what I'm articulating when I'm talking my offer, right? That's what I need to articulate. The deliverables become an afterfact, right? And here's how we're going to do that. Yeah. So I hope when you think about it like that, like a transformational experience, you start to recognize that actually we can command a price point of 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 for an experience. We break 3,000 into 12 weeks. If you've got a 12-week experience, that's £250 a week for that kind of experience. If your transformation is a year and you went for the 3,000, that's £62.50 a week for a transformation experience. And remember, what service you are creating is a private healthcare service, right? Yeah. So, you know, this is great. You know, this is really great scalable thing. Okay. And you can have different price points around that. But remember, you're not also charging for your weeks or your sessions. Is for the journey to the outcome. And this is where value-based outcomes come in, right? You're thinking about how much is this outcome worth, right? How much would a client value being free from the daily anxiety and panic attacks? How much would a client value to build a healthy relationship with food? How much would a client value to increase their confidence and find the love of their life? How much would a client value having the guts to go for the job they really wanted, right? And finally get the pay rise that they wanted to have. So now we're thinking about the value of the outcome, which is often priceless. Like, it's like, how do you even put a price on that? Because it's so valuable. It's so valuable. It's even more valuable than a car or a TV or a holiday, right? So now you start thinking about, okay, well, I'm asking them to invest this much into this kind of transformation, right? And they happily invest that in a TV or a car or a holiday. No brainer, right? Then you start to think about how much they're not working on this area of their life is costing them mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, all of the things. What are they investing in that they just to kind of get by because they want to numb out, right? You know, and so now you can get behind your pricing even more. Yeah. So you know, it's very, very important to recognize all of this stuff. And then the other thing that I want you to recognize as well to get behind your pricing is you. You need to get behind your pricing. You need to understand what you're bringing to the table. You have life experience that you're bringing to the table. Many of you have a list of qualifications, right? A list, right? Of qualifications. That's what I want to say, right? And added training, workshops, books you've read, certifications, testimonials, awards, publications. Some of you even got books and podcasts and events. You're speaking, you're doing the things, right? I'm not saying this list for you to pick one and be like, oh, Talina, I don't have that, right? Yeah, I'm saying this for you to recognize what you have and you're bringing to the table. So you can recognize, okay, it's time for me to get a pay rise, right? Which you've decided for yourself before. So work out your energetic income level. Work out how much am I currently earning right now. Work out what that's been like, how you like see that you've moved your energetic income level. Likely you have. Yeah, for many of you, it's likely you have. Like my first job, right, was Sainsbury's. Yeah, Sainsbury's, all right, supermarket, right? My energetic income level has shifted. Yeah. So, you know, from whatever your first job is, it's likely had shifted over time, right? So you can see that I've been able to claim and decide I want more, right? I went from Sainsbury's and then I went to John Lewis, right? Department store. I was like, yeah, I want to go over Sainsbury's. I want to go up, you know, I want to go here, right? So I got a bit more. Right. But that was a decision. So you get to make that same decision in your life now of like, this is what my energetic income level is, but I'm going to take it up. Right. And you want to take it up and think about the increments you've increased over the years to decide how much you want to take it up. You don't want to take it up to a point where it's going to scare you and you feel like, oh my God, who am I to charge this? How am I going to get this? Oh, right. And then you get nothing, right? Yeah. Any amount times by zero is zero. So we want you to get behind your pricing so that you revenue produce in your business. Okay. So these are all the things I want to explain about pricing and what it should look like. And I don't give a prescription in terms of like, start with this price, right? The price is going to make sense for you. And I definitely recommend thinking about where you are in terms of your level of pricing or your level of earning. And you can work out your level of earning easily by working out how much you earn per month or per year, and then divide that by the number of hours you work to work out your hourly amount. And then you can decide to shift it. Okay. So really, really important. All right. Now, there's a couple of things. I've got speaker. We've got Suzette in the house. So I'm excited to hear her speak and share of her experience of the Academy before I share with you guys the Academy as well and what that is. But the task for today is for you to determine your income goal and how many clients' lives would you need to transform to meet it in 1 year, right? So it's not about just seeing your income goal. I like to turn it's about knowing the income goal, know your income goal, and then turn that into, this is how many lives I need to show up for this year, right? This year, okay? Do you base your income on qualifications, experiences? You base your income based on where you are energetically, and then what you're bringing to the table. You can decide where you want to put your income next, right? Okay. So Suzette, let's bring Suzette up. All right, let me have you there. So Suzette is in our academy. I run the Soul Success Business Academy, all right, which I'm going to share with you all the information about on the level of what Suzette is on, right? And I just want her to share her experience of, you've not been in the academy long either, right? But just like how you've been getting on and what it's been like, right? You've been on the other side of where these guys are at. You're now on the other side of the academy. And so anything you want to share about anything I've spoken today or anything you want to share, right? It's open floor. I haven't given her any speech, guys.
Oh, hi everyone. I hope that you're enjoying your time with Dr. Talene. I certainly did. And it definitely came at a time when I was asking for some sort of help and support as a woman who is ultra independent and has not had good experience of getting support from people generally. And so my mantra in the past has been, I'll do it on my own because people have let me down in the past, or the support hasn't been what I thought it would be. So Facebook popped up with Dr. Talene's face and her offer of this 5-week business.
5 day.
Yeah, the 5 days. Sorry. Maybe that's the next one. Dr. Talene. 5 weeks. 5-day masterclass. And I was just in awe of this different way of thinking, this different approach to business, and just what is possible. And I feel like I am quite an open-minded person, but being in this space with like-minded people who can get really honest, because when you go into business, you're not just thinking about the business is you, right? And along with you are all the other things that you're experiencing, relationship issues or money worries or issues around confidence, or the whole range of things. And so I would say that this the Soul Nourished kind of academy really attends to all of those things as your business. And the experience and support that Dr. Talene gives of herself, because she is very transparent with her stuff, and can get very serious. Don't let that smile kid you. She can get very serious, but from the perspective of wanting to see her people win. And I think she hasn't said this mantra, but I think this is the mantra. Like, if one wins, we all win. And that is the energy that I get from this academy and being in this space. So I would encourage you that if you're kind of thinking, it sounds good, I'm not really sure, I'd say to you, well, what is the hesitancy? Like, what is the hesitancy of you actually getting support? And I can't take race out of it because ethnicity is a big part of this. That actually, I am seeing a coach who is a woman of color, a woman who is talking the thing and doing the thing. And that has also enriched my experience because just by her presence, she's saying, I have done it, I'm still learning, and I want you to do it too. So that message has been really, really important. So I'd say to you, if you're hesitant, really be honest with yourself. What is the hesitancy? Because money comes, money goes. And of course, money is an issue, can be an issue, but what you put in and what you commit to, you will get more, even more from that. I can promise you that. So I would encourage you, if it feels right for you, that's the other thing. Like, if this feels absolutely right for you, then I'd say go for it. I joined in June. And even though I am not at the in the full academy where I get to see Dr. Talene on a one-to-one, that might be coming, Dr. Talene, because I need more of you. Still, we get a session on a Monday to focus on how we're moving with our business and focusing on money. Then I've joined a session on a Tuesday to develop my business system. Then I get supervision on a Wednesday to think about, all the emotions and all the other things that I get 3 times a week. And this is like 2 hours if I want it each time. And the group is pretty small. So I don't know really how Dr. Talene does it, where she takes on what everyone's saying and then in the course of a couple of hours, she deals with everyone's bits and bobs so eloquently and just so gracefully. And I'm not trying to be sycophantic. This is really what I think and how I feel about this academy. So I'm not going to say too much more, except if it feels right for you, explore it properly. Don't disregard it. For me, it's a bit like when I go shopping, I don't buy on a whim anymore. This is what I used to be, an emotional buyer. So if things are not good, I would pick out the shoes, I would pick out the dress, and yeah, it looked good, and then I bring it home and I say, well, why did I do that? Now I might see the shoes, I'll try them on, I'll look at them, I'll think how pretty they are, then I'll go home and sleep on it. And if I wake up and the shoes are on my mind, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy the shoes. So you can think about the academy in this way, that actually, if it's on your mind, then it's resonating with you, right? There's something in there for you. So I just encourage you to explore it to the fullest and really go for it. You have got nothing to lose, honestly. You've got nothing to lose. But regardless of anything, I wish you all the very best in your business and your endeavors for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Suzette. Thank you so much. Will you share with them what you do and like the name of your business in case they want to find you and follow you and stuff like that? Like,
okay, sure. So I am the CEO. Thank you, Coach Tiffany. I am the CEO of Liberty Coaching. And I work with women, particularly around confidence and limited beliefs, but really for them to break free from unfulfillment and to step into who they authentically want to be, want to do, and want to have. To stop the lies that they're telling of themselves and the stories that they're making up for themselves, and actually take some time to be honest and assess what they want to do and take some bold decisions and take bold action to be what they want and to do what they want. So I'm loving this. I'm really loving it. I'm really loving seeing women. And it's taken me a bit of time to actually agree with myself that women, professional women in particular, are my target audience. And if I'm going to be honest, really women of color, I'm going to get there. That is my real passion. because I want to see women win. And conversely, I have not been supported often by women. So it's a bit of a thing that I'm going through where I haven't had a lot of positive experiences with women, and yet I want to see women win. So there must be some lessons in there for me, and I'm taking them on. So that's my business. And also, I am a Pilates instructor, and I feel that that's been part of my journey in terms of the coaching and working with women, and because they don't just come to deal with their bodies, they tell me a lot of their business throughout this. And so I've been privileged to be in a space with women where they've trusted me with their bodies, with their challenges, and a lot of their personal issues, and see them work through that and become stronger in their bodies, but also in their mind and spirit. And that's just been absolutely awesome for me. So I'm going to be doing a masterclass this Friday, my first masterclass around confidence and limited beliefs for women. I currently reside in Doha in Qatar, so there's a different kind of there's a different relationship with confidence, with how a woman presents, because it's a very patriarchal society that we live in. So what comes in, a very different conversation. So I'm excited about that because I know I'm going to learn a lot, but also I know that I have a lot to give. And any of you who think that you don't have a lot to give, you do. You do.
Yes,
Once you start talking about yourself
exactly.
and what you're doing, you will think to yourself, actually, I know my stuff. I have a lot to give. Anyway, that's enough for me.
Thank you so much, Suzette. I know you're busy as well, so I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the room appreciates you coming in and sharing your
Thank you.
perspective as well. Okay, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll
Thank you.
see you
Welcome.
later.
I'll see you in a
All right,
bit.
see you in a bit.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. So hopefully, guys, was that helpful hearing from Suzette? Right? Of just really like encouragement. I use that as a way for one, yes, of course, she's in the academy. And some of you, when you finish this week, you're going to make a decision of like, do you know what? I don't want to go this alone. I want to go into community. I want to continue to have the support with Dr. Talene, and I want to jump into the academy too. And I think it can be useful to hear of other people's experiences in the academy as well. You're not just hearing from me, right? So hopefully that's useful. But also for those of you that don't wish to go into the academy, I would hope you use that conversation as inspiration to keep you going, right? Yeah. Whatever you decide to do once the week's finished, right? I want you to press forward and remember your mission. That's why we did that yesterday, right? Very, very important. Okay. So the Business Academy, we are opening doors for the Business Academy for the next cohort. The welcome call for the next cohort is happening next week, Wednesday, the 2nd of October. All right. The Academy is a 12-month experience to help you, whether you are brand new, starting from scratch, which we have some people come into the academy at that level, whether you have started, right? Suzette had somebody had started a little bit, was kind of tinkering around with it, but not really fully went out there, right? You know, so whether you're there or whether you've been pressing forward, but you're like, it's not soul aligned and I want to do it in a new way, right? The academy will meet you with where you're at. We will be working together for a whole 12 months. All right. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just going through the academy. If you need to jump off, you're more than welcome to. I respect your time and I recognize we're at time, but I do want to just share a bit about the academy for those of you that are interested in exploring it and working through it, praying on it, thinking on it, right? Processing it. Some of you might already be like, I'm in it, right? You know, wherever you're at, I want to give you that information. Okay. So the Academy is a 12-month experience to give you side-by-side support, step-by-step guidance, know-how, tech tutorials, personalized business roadmap, right? It's all rooted in love, serve, grow. I'm all about love, serving on people, not gatekeeping, not holding back, not doing this, not doing that, right? You know, it's about if you're wanting that for your business where you can just show up and be you and just really just glorify and see your work as your worship, right? And just move forward in that way, that's who the academy is for. All right. So it's definitely not a place where you're going to come and only get part of the puzzle. You're going to have everything in the academy in terms of, we have an in-depth library of resources of over 80 lessons, right? But we guide you, like I'll guide you in terms of, you need to be here, or you need to be here, or you need to be here, based on your particular journey and where you are. But it has everything in that academy to get you from 0 to 6 figures, if that's where you desire to be, right? So, you know, so really, like, you've got the training resources in there, but you've got a lot of support from myself, and also there's the community, right? So the support that you have is, you're going to have, over the 12 months in the academy, accountability. There's a business review process. Every month, I'm supporting you to do a business review. You should get to the end of 12 months and be able to see your business review, like every normal business, right? And could say, right, January was like this, February, March, April, May, right? You're going to have a business review process so that your business can grow from strength to strength, and you can set clear plans out from quarter to quarter. Talking of quarters, I run a quarterly deep dive session every quarter. I like to see a quarter like a year. Like, you can achieve so much in a 90-day window. If you just had a 1% improvement every day over 90 days, that's 90% improvement, right? So, you know, we really look at the quarter of what is necessary for your particular business, and you'll have a clear plan on what your quarter is going to be like and where your focus needs to be, so you'll focus on the right things. Okay, we have a week to week as well accountability process, so you can work on, what's my week going to be like, and plan it out. You have support planning it out and looking after yourself in the process, right? I'm all about soul nourished and soul aligned success, and working on your business. Although there is work to be done, you're going to need to roll up your sleeves and do some work, right? You can do this in a way that you still feel nourished, and I support you to do that. You have live sessions with me. Now, there are 2 live sessions a week, which is Monday, which Suzette was mentioning. We have Mondays, it's up to 2 hours. It's Money Making Monday, because the most important area of focus needs to be revenue generating people into your core experiences to experience transformation. I just asked you that question earlier, right? Of the task, determine your income goal and how many clients will you need to transform to hit that, right? So we want every Monday, that's where your focus needs to be. If you can't be there live, our sessions are at 2 p.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time, and around 7 a.m. I guess that is around LA time zone, right? You know, like, if you can't be there live, there are replays, okay, as well. So there's no real excuses. You can pop in and be like, you know, this is my question, or can you answer this? I can't be there live, right? You'll get the support that you need. Wednesday, 2 p.m. is also a call, right? And these calls are offered for the majority of the year, 40 weeks of the year, right? That we have these calls available. Yeah. So the Wednesday calls are supervision and mindset support, right? Identity support, how to grow as the CEO, right? We're going to be looking through at things, stripping things back of what's holding you back, right? And to become the soul nourished, profitable CEO that you aspire to be, so that you can rise up. I could not, and it was when I had the vision to execute this, right? I was determined I would not open a business academy by just teaching business, right? By just giving you the strategy alone, you're not going to win out there, right? Not in the soul nourishing way that I would like you to. So I support you to have that mindset and that supervision on a Wednesday, 2 p.m., again, up to 2 hours, right? You also have as well, we have implementation time. So throughout the year, we spread out 12 weeks worth of implementation time. So you're not going at it week in, week out, week in, week out, right? There's time to either use that implementation time to be like, I'm going to spend some time focusing on this, or take that time to build and restore and replenish and come back, right? So we have those factored in as well. And those are also useful because I am fully in this program. This is not a program that you come in and you're like, where's Dr. Talene? Right? Where's she gone? I just saw her and now I didn't, right? Yeah, I'm in it. I'm invested. I get to know every single one of you, your business, understand what you're about personally, right? So I also use those 12 weeks of implementation focus time as restoring and replenishment time so I can bring my A game for my clients, right? So that's filtered out throughout the year. But we also have some pop-up co-working sessions that come up as well, where people can join together and work together. So you're not feeling like isolated and alone on this business journey, right? You've got the community around you. We have the community support. People are celebrating the community, all their different wins, and they get to know each other, right? Plus, if you decide that you want to enroll and you enroll this week, we have built-in bonuses. So I run the Soul Success all-in-one business system, right? This is a system which is going to help you set up your website if you don't have it already. Set up your emails, right? Set up your social media marketing scheduler, right? Set up a text system if you want it, an automatic booking system if you want it, host your course in if you want it, monitor your tracking of your sales and all of that, right? Be able to charge people and take payments, having an order form. That's what the system does. It's an all-in-one system that even if you have all your stuff everywhere right now, I can support you to bring it all into one so you have a smooth operating business system. And if you've not started developing your business systems, you can start and develop a business system that is all in one and smooth operating, right? And you can keep your website external if you want to. So if you've already got a beautiful website, you're like, Talene, I've already got my beautiful website, you can keep that website. The system is there for those that want it and need it. For the first year, the built-in bonus is that I'm going to cover your cost of the system. The system is £127 per month for this system. I'm going to cover that full cost for you if you enroll this week, right? For 1 year. Yeah. And then you start having that cost. Okay. For those of you that are aware of systems, you'll recognize that that is well under what you'd probably be investing if you was to have a, website hosting here and, the, email system here, an appointment system here, and a course system here, right? So it's a really valuable and great system, okay? The other thing you're going to have is if you enroll this week, you'll also have 8 weeks tech lab, right? That's what Suzette was talking about. I'm gonna, every Tuesday, I am doing up until we break for Christmas, right? I'm running a tech lab. So this is 2 hours on a Tuesday, 2 till 4 p.m. UK time, which is in America, Eastern time, 9 till 11, or if you're in Pacific Coast, 7 till 9, right? This is a tech lab where you can come in and I am supporting you and you'll have that co-working space and support as you build your website, as you build your email system, as you build your calendar, as you build your marketing things out, right? If you would like that tech support, it's available for you. I'm running that right up until Christmas right now. Yeah. You'll also have another built-in bonus, which is a complimentary ticket to attend the annual retreat that I host, right? The next one's in a couple of weeks, which might be like a little bit of a quick turnaround. So if you can get to that one, you'll have your ticket for 2025. Okay, so don't feel like you need to be there on October 13th when I'm running the next retreat. All right, you'll be able to use that ticket for the next one. Okay, now for the retreat, you do have to cover your own travel and accommodation, but it covers your ticket of attendance, which is actually a 1,500 investment typically. Okay, so it's over 3,500 built-in bonuses, which is a great time to jump into the academy if you are considering, like, I am wanting to bring my business to the next level in 2025. And the other thing that I'm doing, okay, one of the questions always comes up is like, do I need to enroll in the academy now? No, you don't. You can come in the academy whenever you want, right? But when you enroll right now, you're getting these bonuses. If you enroll outside of this week, you're not getting these bonuses. The other thing I'm doing is if you enroll this week, I'm doing a discount code, right? So the discount code is if you're on payment plan, right, you're going to save £150 off your first payment. And if you pay in full, you're going to save £500 off your payment. Okay. So there's lots going on this week. All right. We'll send out an email with all the information. You'll be able to process it. Gail can put the link in the chat as well for the Academy, so you can check out all the information there. Those of you that do decide and enroll in and pay in full, I'm actually doing an added bonus where you get 4 one-to-one sessions to use with me, and you can use those at any time over the next 12 months. So that's 2 hours worth of one-to-ones to use over the next 12 months for those that pay in full only. And for those of you that are like, yeah, I need to come in today, I'm doing it, I'm going for it. For those first few that do jump in today, you will receive a done for you press release promoting your business to over 100 sites online to amplify your mission. And we can put that press release out at any time between now and the next 12 months. Okay, so that's the Academy. How much is it? What's the investment? All right. The investment for the Academy is £650 per month. Yeah. And if you decide to pay in full for the Academy is 6,500 for the year. Right. So that's the investment for the Academy. Now you're going to apply the code. Remember to apply. If you don't apply the code, you won't see the reduction. So if you apply the code expires, guys, at the end of the month, right? Actually expires on the 1st, okay? So the code expires on the 1st, and the code is challenge 150. If you would, on the payment plan, so you get £150 off your first payment. So your first payment would be 500, and then your following payments would be 650. Or if you decide to pay in full, you'll get £500 off your payment. So your payment would go down to 6,000 for that. Okay. And the code for that is challenge 500. All right. So those are the price points. The US equivalent on what that looks like is 650 per month in pound sterling, works out just under 900 US dollars per month, right? Or if you're going to pay in full in the US, it works out just under 9,000 US dollars for 1 year support in the Academy. All right. If this is something that interests you, if this is something that you like, not even interest, I don't want to use that word. If this is something that in your heart, you know, like Dr. Celine resonates with me, what I'm sharing, I'm like, there's light bulb moments. It's like gems dropping. Like I'm about getting this mission out there, jump in the Academy. If you're like, I think this is right for me, I'm not sure, I've got a couple of questions, right? Then book a call with me. You'll see on the page that there's an ability to book a clarity call. And those calls are for anybody that's like, I really want to come in this Academy, but I got a question, like, you know, this is where I'm at with my business. Is it really right for me? Or I haven't got any idea. Like, do you think it's going to work for me or whatever? You can book one of those calls. Again, I do not do high pressure conversations at all. I'm not into that. If the Academy is for you, you will know heart of hearts. Like you will just know, and then you will jump in. The call is there if you would like to speak to me to decide if this is the best next step for you, if you feel that we need that call. Okay. So you're more than welcome to book that. Absolutely. All right. So remember, guys, tomorrow we're on marketing. I'm going to talk about marketing. You are welcome, everybody. Remember your task. Celebrate with us. Don't be scared to celebrate what that is. Celebrate with us. How many clients do you want to transform to meet your goals, right? Well, what's that number coming to you? I want you to know, okay? Diving into it. Replay will come out in a few hours for those of you that need to catch up or want to go through it again. And I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you for allowing me to spend a little bit of extra time with you. You are welcome. You are welcome. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.